Hello and welcome to Boomerang Beyond Wellness and to the series Have It Your Way Workout. So today's exercise we'll be doing the Arnold Press, and the accessories we'll be using today will be a sticky yoga mat. I'll also be using an exercise resistance tube. I have extender handles on them because I find for especially exercises like somewhat akin to a military press, a shoulder press, that for those of us a little over 5'6", we need a little bit more length to the tube. So you want to look for extender handles if you are that height or taller. Also, I will be using a set of 8-pound kettlebells, as well as a balance pad. It's not necessary. You can use a pillow if you want to. It's for underneath my knees because I do want to take it down to the floor when I get to the kettlebells. Number one, it's a little bit of a leveling up for me from a different perspective, but also I just want to make sure my knees are protected. So now let's move right into the medical disclaimers and precautionary measures. Well, the mat, the balance pad, and the exercise tube are made out of latex. So if you do have a latex allergy, you want to look for non-latex or latex-free. Also, if you have any issues with rotator cuff muscles deep to the shoulders, pinched nerve at the neck, or if you're medicated or not for hypertension, you may have been told, all of you, to not bring your arms up and overhead, especially weighted. So this would not be the video for you. However, I do have other videos on the channel for the shoulder area and the back area, also compound movements. Some are more isolation, certainly a military press is there, also known as a shoulder press. And for more isolation, there's bent over rear delt fly. There's also front delt raises. So you do have a choice of, there's a few options there for you. But also, to add on to this list, if you have golfer's elbow, which is medial epicondylitis, or tennis elbow, lateral epicondylitis, there is a lot of bicep work here for this exercise, and also triceps will be involved as well. But particularly on any type of a shoulder flexion movement, the biceps definitely help out with that. So I'm going to ask you folks to get a little bit further advice from a medical healthcare practitioner. You just want to make sure that an Arnold press, particularly with kettlebells, would be appropriate for you. Now, having said this, if you have any chronic concern whatsoever, you know that Have It Your Way Workout and Boomerang Beyond Wellness is all about trying to reach out to those with chronic concerns to help them on their strength training journey. Well, if you have any chronic issue, please preview my videos before participating and look for what you can do. So kind of open up your mind to receive a little bit of a different approach perhaps than you've encountered before with training. But if you're not sure, then please, I would invite the medical healthcare practitioner who knows your body best to preview the video as well to help you make an informed decision. Now, the muscles that will be benefiting from this movement will be the deltoid muscles of the shoulder. It's this beautiful shoulder cap, and there are 3 heads to it. We have the anterior head, the front of the shoulder, the middle head, and then the posterior head, which is the back of the shoulder. Also, trapezius muscle is involved, biceps, as we said, forearms are involved, and then from a stabilization perspective, the back and the core. So with the exception perhaps of the biceps and the triceps, I've mentioned some pretty large muscles here. Therefore, this movement would be considered a compound movement, meaning that you're training simultaneously large muscles, multiple large muscles, as well as joints. Now, the benefits of training in general, the benefits of training with kettlebells would be that the posterior chain of the body gets worked. It's great because especially for this channel, it's low impact exercise. It lends itself to better cardiorespiratory fitness, and it's really great because there is explosiveness and power involved here, but in a safe way. And this is important because it enhances our reflex reaction time. That is super important. So now a couple of reminders. Always feel free when you're working out on your own, and this is not a workout, but this is my advice, is to feel free to stop and rest whenever you need to. However, I am not inviting you to quit. So you stop, take a couple of breaths, and then return to the work, even if it's just for one more repetition. Also, make sure that you keep yourselves properly hydrated with water. And but if you've been advised medically because of kidney or bladder issues to avoid drinking a lot of water, well, please you follow that advice. Now, within the community tab of the channel, I have a couple of cool things there for you. First of all, as always, there is a rating of perceived exertion chart, RPE for short. This is a 0 through 10 subjective scale that's really beneficial for those who might be on certain medications like beta blockers. Also, if you're just new to exercise and don't know how to take your exercise heart rate. So it is advised for this particular channel to to work out at an RPE between 3 and 6. Now, also look for a really cool article I found on the Arnold Press by WebMD.com. They're getting really cool with their articles, so this is great. And I think times are changing, folks, and I'm loving living to see it. And then also, there's a really neat reference image there for you as well. And then, as always, on the channel, look for the warm-up and cool-down video, because it is advised for those of us who are 55 and above, 5 years and above, to please warm up for 10 minutes prior to any workout. Now, what we're going to do here today with this kettlebell approach to Arnold Press, but it won't be the only way that I show you, is one set. And a set is a group of 8 to 15 repetitions. We will be covering 15 repetitions today. So the first 5 repetitions will be without any equipment. This is to help those of you who are new to exercise, new to strength training, but also who might have those chronic concerns. Then the second group of 5 repetitions will be using the exercise tube. Now, just be mindful for both the first approach without the equipment. I'm going to be on my knees, all right? I won't need the balance pad for that. But when I go to use the tube, I'm going to be standing. Then I'll go back to the knees for the use, for the final 5, the use of the kettlebells. So let's go over now. How are you going to stand to do this work with the athletic ready stance? So I'm going to place my hands on the high pelvic, or actually should say the high hip bone, called the iliac crest, bringing the hands to the inside of that bone. You want to point straight down and line up your ankles to your knees to the inside of the hip bone. Now I'm going to turn to the side, because one thing I'd like you to try to avoid, a lot of females do this, not all, but I've seen many do this. So they stand with their pelvis tipped a little forward. So it's called an anterior pelvic tilt. It forms like this little back bend. So what we want to do is actually stand in just this gentle approach to a posterior pelvic tilt, also known as a pelvic tuck. So that's your athletic ready stance. So we're going to begin here now for the first 5 repetitions. I'm going to come down. I'll just keep it on one knee here for you. Now I'm turning the backs of my hands toward you. And as I come up, first I inhale and then exhale. There's a rotation. And then there's a rotation back down. So when I come up, the palms are facing you. When I come down, the palms are facing me. We want to pause at the peak of the contraction up top. Breath is in and out through the nose. And you do want to, this is the last repetition, exhale on the effort and then slowly lower down. If you drop to your knee, just place your hands on your thighs to stand on up. Now for the next 5, I do want to call to your attention as well, those of you with hand issues. So these are hard handles. I can handle them, I can handle the handles, but For you folks, you might have arthritic hands. Some of you might have Dupuytren's contracture, trigger finger, several issues of the hands. Look for a softer foam handle. Now, whenever you use an exercise tube, you want to make sure that you put the tube underneath the arches of your shoes. I'm going to bend the knees. I'm going to stay down here in a bit of a squat for you, only so that I want to see if we can get you to see the hands. I'm going to actually step back just a hint further, and I think we'll be able to do it. So the palms are facing me, right? Inhale, exhale, up. So I'm doing that rotation and back on the way down. Pause. And exhale, up. Belly button is pulled in. Pause at the peak. Last one. Now be careful when you step off of the tube. You want to make sure you don't trip and you don't want it to snap away from you. Now, before I use the kettlebells, I want to show you something. A lot of times I see this with the Arnold Press. They're here, you know, the backs of the hands are facing you, right? And I see people go like this, out and then up. That's a military press, okay? So we want to make sure we keep those hands in front and the rotation at the top. Let me get my balance pad. And then, just want to make sure, yeah, you'll be able to see fully. So now with my 8-pounders, in front of my shoulders, backs of the hands face you. Inhale, exhale, up, and rotate back down. Now, I know that I had reported to you quite a while ago that I had an injury on my real left shoulder. You see it as the right, but I'm healing. I'm not all the way there yet, but this feels great. I'm gonna go for one more. That makes it number 6, I don't care. Take it up and slowly down. So that's what we've got for you today here, folks, at Boomer and Beyond Wellness. Now I want to invite you to please consider signing up for my new free newsletter. And as a thank you, I will be sending you a video that is exclusive to the subscribers of the newsletter. And do look on the community, within the community tab of the channel, for a poll, because I put out several types of workouts, yoga videos, etc., that people might want. So whichever one you vote for and we get the most votes, that's going to be the gift to say thank you. And so you'll find the subscribers tab on my website. Go there and you'll be able to subscribe to the newsletter. And while you're there, if you want to learn about some of the services that I offer virtually and also on site, there is a services tab, and the website is boomerandbeyondwellness.com. I'll repeat it. That's boomerandbeyondwellness.com. So until next time, eat your greens, eat your beans, drink your water, and be well. Thanks so much.